This young wolf decided to challenge the alpha male for leadership in the pack. This was a big mistake. It was not worth getting involved with this experienced, seasoned predator. Although the challenger was strong and young, he is far from a mighty leader. And the leader of the pack shows this to the rebel with methodical cruelty when he drags him by the scruff of the neck, bites, and rams him. There were no fatal injuries or even serious wounds. The leader does not want to cause real harm to his kinsman. He's just demonstrating who's in charge right here. And we will show you today other cases when animals messed with their opponent in vain. When the buffalo disturbed an aggressive elephant, it made a fatal mistake. An enraged giant weighing about 5 tons pounced on the bull and rammed it like a locomotive. The ram crushed the ungulate, but the elephant did not stop. He fell on top of the buffalo, then easily and effortlessly lifted the half-ton opponent with his trunk. Of course, the bull is 10 times lighter, but it's still impressive, don't you agree? Then the elephant threw the opponent to the ground and began methodically and brutally trampling him into the dust. The bull's pretty pathetic, isn't it? One can only wonder how he provoked such behavior of usually peaceful elephants. Most likely, he threatened young individuals. For the sake of protecting the family, kind giants can turn into formidable monsters. A huge tiger came out of the thicket and saw a rival on its territory. Just to look at how impressively the mighty male comes out to fight, he decided to teach the enemy a lesson who is lying on the ground and does not seem particularly formidable. The stranger does not cause the larger tiger any fears. In vain. As soon as the mighty male approaches the young stranger, he literally explodes with energy and strikes the first blow, right to his face. A smaller tiger jumps up and immediately hits the owner of its territory in the face with its powerful clawed paws. The larger tiger did not expect such pressure, but was able to react with lightning speed and give an impressive rebuff to the insolent man. The fight is very dynamic. Tigers constantly jump up on their hind legs, blows are exchanged, predators grab each other, and with their claws knock them to the ground. The larger male is far superior to the younger opponent in terms of sheer physical strength and muscle mass. If it comes to close combat, then he can only use this advantage to break through the enemy's defenses, break them, or bite through the neck, rip them open the belly, or simply maim. The young individual understands this, so he keeps his distance, maneuvers, and tries to unbalance the larger tiger. And the young fighter does it! However, the more powerful tiger jumps up and starts circling the opponent. He takes the defensive stance and demonstrates willingness to retreat. It turns out that this impressive fight is just a warning. The larger tiger understands that this victory right here will be too expensive for him. So he does not try to clinch it with his opponent. But his stronger punches show the younger stranger that no one will tolerate his presence in the territory. This fight is a kind of negotiation. The predators have shown each other their strength, but the smaller individual is forced to leave. Both tigers are alive and escaped serious injury, but there was only one owner of this territory. Here it is, tiger diplomacy. An adult rhinoceros weighs about 3 tons. This is a strong antelope, but it is far from the size of a gray giant. Although visually, due to the long legs of the hoofed and squat body of the rhinoceros, it seems that there is not such a big difference between the opponents. A larger beast can ram at any moment and easily knock the antelope off its feet. A powerful rhinoceros is able to turn over a car, and the beast could trample an antelope and almost not notice the resistance. However, for some reason, he doesn't do it. Instead, the rhino plays with the antelope and even retreats. He's probably having fun that way. The antelope does not know who it is dealing with and feels like a winner, although, in fact, they are just having fun with it. However, who knows? Maybe these are old friends. And if the antelope could talk, it would say something like, "Come on, buddy, play along with me. Let's just pretend that I'm beating you. Just make it convincing. Because the girls are watching. What do you think is the reason that the rhinoceros succumbed to the antelope? Let us know your opinion in the comments below this video. Wild dogs attacked a small group of gazelles. The herbivores scattered in different directions, but the predators did not allow themselves to be confused. They focused on a few stragglers and managed to drive them into the water. Hyena-like dogs are very intelligent and skillful predators that compensate for their unimpressive size and physical strength with coordinated actions and quantity. There can be more than a dozen hunters in a group, and each individual knows exactly its role, has a specific plan of action so the animals do not interfere, but complement each other during hunting. But in any plan, there is a place for surprise. The dogs did not know how the hippos, who also chose this pond, would react to their appearance. The dogs stay as far away from the giants as possible and showed that they know attack only fussy and annoying gazelles. And the hippos themselves do not always tolerate these ungulates, so the predators hope that they will not be driven away. But the dogs did not know how jealous hippos actually are of their territory. Huge 3-ton hulks were not too lazy to swim across the entire lake to disperse the predators on the other shore. It seems that they're acting simply out of spite. Usually, if carnivores are chasing game, herbivores of other species simply run away in joy that they are not hunting them. But huge and powerful hippos can afford to interfere with the hunting of predators. One of them breaks ashore and literally throws the dogs in different directions. The heavyweight does not stray too far from the water, which can become a shelter in a pinch. But even one hippopotamus can stand up against a large group of enemies. So the hippopotamus runs to the dogs to intimidate them and to teach them a lesson, and then quickly returns home. The dogs are distracted by the hippopotamus, which is simply impossible to ignore. This gives the ungulate a chance to escape. It's a shame, isn't it? This behavior of hippos came as an unpleasant surprise to the dogs. But if you think that it helped the gazelles, then you're mistaken. Hyenas were watching the whole situation from afar. These cunning animals understood that it was better not to approach the reservoir so as not to tease the hippos with their presence. Therefore, the hyenas ambushed nearby and were able to repel the wild dogs into the captured gazelle. The pack of spotted scavengers is much less numerous than that of dogs. However, each hyena is twice as large and has a much stronger bite. A successful hunt is not only the one that results in a carnivorous animal having lunch, but also the one after which it is alive and well. The dogs were not going to turn the pursuit of gazelles into a war with hyenas and retreated, especially since several more ungulates were nearby, and some of them remained in the water. There, the movement of fleet-footed animals is constrained, so one dog can dive into the pond to drive out a gazelle while the others will lie in wait for it on the shore. Finally, the dogs were lucky. The gazelle became exhausted, and the dog swimming in front of her was able not only to catch up with her near the shore, but also to grab her by the ears, pull her up to herself, and start drowning. Several more individuals rushed into the water so as not to be left without lunch for sure. And then something gurgled, just like in horror movies. The gazelle disappeared under the water as if it had been sucked into a whirlpool, and the dog, scared to a state of panic, swam as quickly as possible to its fellows. It's the hippopotamus again. Dogs did not expect such behavior from a vicious, aggressive, but still herbivorous animal. The treacherous giant swam up to the victims underwater and grabbed the gazelle with his jaws. It's just some kind of Shakespearean passion. So don't get yourself to anyone. The hippopotamus decided that he would not allow his pond to be turned into hunting grounds, and if the ungulate could not use his accidental help correctly, then now it will pay for its slowness. As a result, it was the hippopotamus that dealt with the gazelle just to take it away from the dogs. The disappearance of the ungulate underwater really scared the predators. The lesson has been learned, and now they won't come anywhere near here. They didn't expect this. It's also a good thing that they themselves survived after such adventures. An adult cheetah may seem larger than a leopard, but this would be a deceptive impression. It's just that the runner has long legs that increase his height at the withers, whereas leopards are used to sneaking up. In fact, cheetahs are strong, but rather light animals that are close to German shepherds in mass. Because of this, solitary cheetahs prey on Thompson's gazelles and other small-hoofed sprinters. Such animals as aggressive and powerful zebras are often no longer available to them and is a target for catching. Zebras kick very painfully and can break a cheetah's paw with a well-aimed blow or even damage its spine. However, zebras underestimated these cats in vain. The predators, instead of acting alone, have united into a clan that resembles a small pride of lions. All these cheetahs are relatives, brothers, sisters, and cousins. When they grew up, they did not separate, but stayed together to help each other and protect food. The zebras shouldn't have let this clan get so close. A group of predators made an attack and managed to scare off the entire herd. A short chase began. A zebra is much stronger than one cheetah and can trample it. However, the hunter who managed to catch the striped ungulate is supported and insured by relatives. They attacked the victim as soon as the leader of the group managed to stop her. While he was strangling the zebra, another cheetah blocked its legs. The rest are patrolling around. They protect their prey from external threats. For example, they are ready to repel an attack by hyenas. At the same time, the cats are ready to intercept the zebra if it still breaks out of its grip. It seems that cheetahs have discovered the effectiveness of teamwork. Such cases of relatives joining cheetah clans are becoming more common. Practice has shown that 3 cheetahs can also defeat an adult zebra. What's next? Will they start fighting hyenas and lions? Together, the cheetahs overcame prey that they could not have handled alone. And they can also take care of injured individuals, which allows cheetahs to act more boldly to protect prey. Since these predators never feed on carrion, such mutual assistance is very important. Now zebras should take these slender, thin-legged, but cool hunters more seriously. Usually, in order to defeat an adult buffalo, it takes the efforts of a whole group of lionesses. Still, powerful blows with horns and hooves of an animal weighing more than half a ton can cool the ardor of any lone predator. And the bull is also 4 times more massive than one lioness. However, this ungulate did not know who it was dealing with, otherwise it might have tried to escape faster. This mature and incredibly experienced lioness knows the weaknesses of the enemy and knows how to use her advantages 100%. She alone is worth a whole squad of hunters, and now she will show you her skills. The lioness jumped on the buffalo and tried to throw it off balance, testing the strength of the enemy. The bull could have tried to twist around to hook the lioness with its horns and take her off its back. But he underestimated the huntress, because she did not get to the throat of the ungulate. The buffalo just tried to throw off the lioness and gave her a real rodeo. But this way the herbivorous beast only got more tired. It was still possible to throw off the lioness, except that the predatory cat immediately attacked the ungulate from the front. Predators most often have pronounced long fangs, but lions almost never try to bite through the large blood vessels on the victim's throat with them. Instead, they, like leopards, cheetahs, and many tigers, strangle their prey. By squeezing the trachea with his fangs, the lion blocks breathing. This bull thought that if he protected his throat, he would be safe. Another mistake is that a lioness can strangle in another way. She grabbed the snout of the prey, and with the help of a wide mouth, she blocked the bull's nose and mouth. At the same time, the predator holds the victim with his claws, but the limbs of the ungulate are practically free. The bull is trying to free himself, but due to lack of oxygen, it is becoming more and more difficult for him to hold the lioness who is hanging around his neck. Such a struggle is very exhausting for a predator, but she is stubborn enough not to give up as much as necessary. The bull is huge and strong. It takes a lot of time to bring it down. But after almost 10 minutes of fighting, the lioness finally knocks down the opponent. She won. This is a fight between two seemingly equal rivals. Thanks to the excellent angle, you can assess exactly how huge and powerful tigers fight amongst themselves. Two males begin the duel by exchanging lightning strikes. The paws of these cats are incredibly strong, but the tiger rarely puts all the power and body weight into each blow so as not to lose balance. Therefore, predators rely on speed. They aim at each other's heads and use razor-sharp claws, which not only cut the skin and try to get to the opponent's eyes, but also cling to the opponent. Even a quick blow that grabs the opponent tangentially can hook him and make him collapse to the ground. Then, the next phase of the fight begins, the fight in the stalls. The weight of each cat exceeds 1/4 ton, and the bite force is such that it can break the cervical vertebrae of a bull. Therefore, such a fierce struggle looks very brutal. One of the tigers tries to bypass the enemy and pounce on his head with the whole mass from above in order to block his limbs with his paws and grab at the throat. But the tiger on its back does not give up. He makes a cool tactical maneuver. Instead of trying to break free from the grip, he only presses the opponent closer to him, grabs him tightly with his front paws, and pulls him towards himself, and then begins to tear him with the claws of his hind paws. After such a violent outburst of aggression, the tigers calm down a little bit and only threaten each other. That's just out of curiosity. A third tiger approaches the two rivals at this time. One of the brawlers gets distracted by him, but not in vain. The opponent immediately takes advantage of this and runs into the opponent. Both rise on their hind legs, but the aggressor, thanks to acceleration, rams him, grabs him, and knocks him to the ground. A sneaky trick or a tactical trick? What do you guys think? In any case, the more aggressive tiger threw him on his back and grabbed his opponent by the throat, who allowed himself to be distracted. Is one mistake really going to cost a less attentive tiger his life? Fortunately, the aggressor does not know who he's dealing with. Even in the jaws of an opponent, our hero finds the strength to turn around and get out of the terrible grip. His throat is safe. It was the final round. The rivals are already a little exhausted, and the fight stops. This Italian wolf tried to sneak up to the fox to have a snack and at the same time get rid of his competitor. Wolves can differ significantly depending on their habitat. As you can see, although this predator is about 2 times larger than the fox, it still looks very agile, slender, and fast, unlike, for example, the more massive and powerful tundra wolves. But the predator didn't know who it was dealing with. The fox is not only more agile, but also attentive. The wolf could not sneak up on him from behind unnoticed. The fox noticed the enemy and immediately broke into a run. The fast wolf tried to catch up with the enemy, but the distant relative is too agile. We must give the wolf his due. After all, the fox notices the attack only at the last moment. But the way the red-haired beast dodges the enemy's fangs is admirable. And the fox loops and, due to the smaller mass, breaks the distance and then breaks away from the chase. The Asian black bear decided to attack 2 tiger cubs. The young predators are too naive and took the guest with curiosity. The bear almost killed them, but then the mother appeared from the thicket. We must pay tribute to this bear. His attempt to intimidate and beat the tigress is quite a bold step. But stupid, getting involved with the striped huntress was a mistake. Although the panther is young and not very experienced, the courage of the tigress and her desire to protect her offspring is, in any case, beyond doubt. Instead of retreating and fleeing from the bear's territory, this cat launched a counterattack. And then a surprise awaited the bear. It turned out that the adult tiger was not alone here. This is a married couple, and the male is unhappy that some club-footed animal decided to run over a tigress and kittens. Tigers lead to a solitary lifestyle and do not form family clans. Soon this pair had to go to their separate ways so that each predator had its own territory to hunt. But the bear got into that very short time period when tigers stick together. In general, it was a really bad day for the club-footed predator. He did not understand who he was messing with, but the tigers, on the contrary, took an interest in the opponent and did not want to let him go at all. They are not even particularly angry because the bear did not have time to harm the kittens. But the predator was not going to ignore the invasion. They began to try the enemy's defenses on the fortress to make the final trial strikes. The bear was especially surprised by the appearance of a second adult. Just to look at how he stood up on his hind legs in a dumbfounded way and began to retreat ridiculously. This is far from the largest bear species, which is significantly inferior to the grizzly or brown bears of Eurasia. As you can see, each of the adult tigers is larger than the opponent, and together they definitely dominate the clubfoot. The tigers chased him on. They are ready to get down to business more seriously. They are stopped only by the fact that the bear stood on its hind legs, so it visually seems larger. But within seconds, the cats figure out this trick and attacked the bear in earnest. Obviously, Clubfoot regretted that he ever got involved with this striped family. The tigers rolled him on the ground, beat him, and drove him into shallow water. At the same time, the cubs calmly watched the massacre. They were completely confident in their parents and had no doubt that their father and mother would protect them from this aggressor. And the bear launched a counterattack several times, but its impulse was violently shattered by the crushing blows of its clawed paws. The tigers decided to teach an unforgettable lesson here. As soon as the bear grinned, he got in the face. He tried to get up on his hind legs again, the same result. In order not to get unnecessary wounds, the cats did not seriously grab him by the throat because then the clubfoot could act more desperately and injure the tigers before they strangle him. But it's obvious who's in charge here. The tigers were just chasing the opponent all over the area. Which of today's instances in which a bear got what was coming to him interested you the most? Let us know in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because that way you will find out more about the world of wildlife.